पा रहे हैं स्लाइड?
हाँ जी सर, हाँ जी विजिबल है।
ठीक है, ठीक ठीक, थैंक यू। Good morning, dear participants. So today I am going to start the new topic, PLS SEM. PLS SEM means partial least square structural equation modeling. The PLS, through PLS we can test our measurement model and as well as structural model. Because CB SEM specifically when we use apply MOS software testing the measurement and structural model. So there are some limitations in the CBSEM covariance based structural equation modeling, specifically in MOS software. We cannot run formative measurement model and recursive model. There are two types of model, recursive and non-recursive model. So in a PLS SEM, we can perform formative measurement model. Although the in a social science research, generally in management, commerce, economics, and other discipline, we use CBSEM or reflective measurement model. Generally, we use only 5% research can be done through the PLS SEM, means formative measurement model, specifically in a medical science and some financial finance area also we can use the formative measurement model. Otherwise 95% our research is based on the reflective measurement model. Okay, now the what is the concept of the PLS SEM? So we know that multiple regression analysis, the concept of multiple regression analysis, one dependent variable and many independent variable like x1, x2, x3, x4, and so on. And the purpose of multiple regression analysis, prediction and explanation. So first of all, we should understand the concept of multiple regression analysis, the purpose of prediction and explanation. In a multiple regression analysis, there are two purposes of multiple regression analysis. Basically, it is a dependence technique. Dependence technique means we want to find out the relationship between x1 and y, means IV, independent variable, and dependent variable. And there may be two types of relationship. One is it may be positive relationship, means when we increase the value of x, y also increase, so it's a positive correlation, a positive relationship between the two variable. And second, maybe the negative relationship between two variable, when we increase the value of x, decrease the value of y, so there is a negative correlation or negative relationship between the two variables. So in a multiple regression analysis, our purpose, on the basis of data we predict something, prediction, purpose and explanation. So the explanation means there are three things. One is magnitude, sign and statistical significance. What does it mean, the magnitude? Magnitude means we measure the magnitude of each independent variable, like b1, it's a magnitude of x1 independent variable. Magnitude b2 means it's a regression coefficient of x2 variable. b3 means magnitude of x3. So in a regression, multiple regression analysis, we want to find out the magnitude, whether the magnitude value low or high. So its value vary from specifically standardized value of regression coefficient vary from -1 to +1. Okay, and the magnitude, if the b1, b2, b3 magnitude value like 0 0.9, 0.8, it means it's a highly positively correlated with the dependent variable x1, positively correlated with the this dependent variable, and the its value may be the zero point 0.5, so it is medium value, and the low value means if its value 0.1 to 0, it's a low magnitude, and same it may be negative also, 0 0.9, 0.53, 0.12, and so on. So it's a magnitude means there are three types. One is a highly or a high correlation between the two variable, and medium correlation and low correlation. And when value b1 or b2 or b3 0, it means there is no correlation between the independent variable and dependent variable. Second, the sign, we also explain the sign. So the sign of the regression coefficient -1 to +1. Sign tell us whether the relationship between the two variables are positive or negative. If it is positive, it means when we increase one unit in independent variable, dependent variable also increase. So there is a positive relationship. And last is statistical significance. It is related to hypothesis whether all the independent variables x1, x2, x3 significantly contributing to the dependent variable or not. Okay, so in a multiple regression analysis, we take one or single dependent variable, the condition of the multiple regression, only one variable we take, dependent variable, and the several independent variables may be 4, 5, 10, 12, 15. Okay, many independent variables we can take in our uh, study in model. Okay, now it is not necessary that all the independent variables significantly contribute to the dependent variable. For example, I am taking the 10 variables. The question number 1 related to dependent variable means related to y, and question number 2 to question number 10 means 9 question related to independent variable, like the uh, b3x3, b4x4, and b9x9. Okay, so total number of questions 10, one dependent variable and 9 independent variables. So it is not necessary that all the independent variables significantly contribute to this dependent variable. So there may be possibility that only 3 or 4 independent variables significantly contribute to the dependent variable. So when we apply the multiple regression analysis, for example, I am taking 9 independent variable and 1 dependent variable. So only the x1, x2, x3, x3, x4, only 4 independent variables significantly contributing to the dependent variable. So we take only 4 independent variable in our model, and rest of the 5 independent variables they are contributing to the dependent variable but not significantly. Then how will we decide whether the other 5 independent variables are not significantly contributing? So the p value decides if p value of each independent variables less than 0.05, it means the all the independent variables are significantly contributing. and sometimes we obtain p value greater than, for some independent p value greater than 0.05. It means these variables are not significantly contributing to this dependent variable. So the purpose of multiple regression analysis, there are two purposes. One is we use prediction, and second the explanation. Okay. Now the concept of a partial least square regression. What does it mean? The partial least square regression, PLSR. So a partial least square regression is a statistical regression technique used to extract linear combination of the predictors. Predictors means latent. Here the meaning of predictor is the latent factors, like in exploratory factor analysis. Partial least square regression is a statistical regression technique used to extract linear combination of the predictors in order to predict one or more responses. Okay. Now, after conducting the factor analysis, we obtain some factors. For example, I applied exploratory factor analysis for a certain variables. Then after conducting the factor analysis, I extracted four factors. The one is the customer loyalty, second customer satisfaction, hotel image, staff service quality. Okay, and each factor consists of three questions. Like customer loyalty also has three questions related to the this case study, and the customer three question related to customer satisfaction, hotel image, and staff service quality. When we use these factors in a multiple regression analysis, then it becomes the partial least square regression. So here we are not taking the single variable. Here we are taking construct. Construct means it's a combination of three or more questions. Okay. In a simple multiple regression analysis, we take dependent and independent variables. But here partial least square we are taking the construct, and construct means it's a combination of three or more questions. Okay. And the other thing, partial least square in structural equation modeling. So we can present our data like this. So these four variables means customer loyalty, that is a dependent variable. Now you can see in this partial least square equation, regression equation, customer loyalty, it is dependent variable, or I should say the endogenous construct, and rest of the three, customer satisfaction, hotel image, staff service quality, are and so it's a endogenous, and all the three are exogenous construct. And we can present same this equation in the form of the diagram. This customer loyalty depend on customer satisfaction, and customer satisfaction again depend on two construct, that is hotel image and staff service quality. If hotel image good, then customer satisfaction may be good. If the staff service quality good, then customer satisfaction. If customer satisfied, then naturally he will be loyal and revisit again. Okay. PLS-SEM is a method of modeling complex causal network among latent variables and is most similar to structural equation modeling. So there are two approaches to conduct the structural equation modeling. The approach one, the covariance based structural equation modeling. We find the covariance among the construct, and we use maximum likelihood based and the software available for performing the CBSEM, the AMOS, SAS, Stata, EQS, Literal, M plus R software. We can also analyze our CBSEM. So AMOS, it's a user friendly software and good software too. Other software are the Literal, Stata, SAS, these are the script-based software. Okay, so MOS good software to analyze the structural equation modeling through CBSEM, covariance-based structural equation modeling. But the limitation is this: we cannot uh, apply for formative measurement model. We cannot run formative measurement model in MOS. Although 95% studies in social science research based on the reflective measurement model. So, and the partial least square approach, basically it's the basic the concept ordinary least square regression based, and we can use many software to analyze PLS SEM. One is SAS, Proc PLS, PLS Graph, Visual PLS, Smart PLS, and RAP PLS. So we will perform our PLS SEM through Smart PLS 2. Smart PLS 2, it's a free software and you can download it. Okay. Now the concept of PLS SEM, partial least square structural equation modeling. So in a it is very necessary to understand the concept of partial least square, the partial least square path model. Okay. So in this diagram we can see the four construct. X1 and X2 are exogenous. Exogenous means independent variable. It's a combination. These constructs combination of independent variables, and Y1, Y2 are the endogenous construct. Means it's a combination of the dependent variables. Now we can see here the in the left hand side the one is square, the left hand side this, it's a, now you can see this. So this now the left hand side I okay. So this left hand side there are many the x1, x2, x3, x11, x12, and x13. These are the independent variables, and the arrow from rectangle to the oval shape. The oval shape you can see here. So, but here the other endogenous variable, endogenous variable. एक ये पेन अभी नहीं चल पा रहा है, ये इसको मैं देख रहा हूँ, इट इज नॉट एक्टिव नहीं है ये पेन. एक मिनट, एक, हाँ अब हो गया शायद. एक मिनट, ये पेन मैं जरा चला लूँ इसको. हाँ ठीक, इससे नहीं चल पा रहा है, कोई बात नहीं. ओके. So the exogenous construct x1 and x2, and the arrow from rectangle to this oval shape. So it's a formative measurement model. Formative means these three independent variables x11, x12, x13 are forming this oval shape construct. Okay, x1. Same as x21, x22, x23, these are the independent variables or measured variables, and they are forming this construct x2 because arrow from rectangle to construct this oval shape. So here this model, it is the formative measurement model, and the other is reflective measurement model. You can see the y1, because there are the arrow from, because arrow decides whether measurement model reflective or formative. It means all these three independent variables are forming this construct. That is why it is a formative measurement model. And these are all in a dependent variable y11, y12, y13, y14. These are the reflections, symptoms. So these are reflective measurement model. So when arrow from oval shape to rectangle, it is a reflective, and the oval shape, it is formative, because they are forming this construct. Okay. Now this when we find the relationship only x1 x2 with the other independent variable x1 x2 x3, it's a outer model, or it's a measurement model. It's just same as exploratory the confirmatory factor analysis. And in the right hand side, we can also see the outer model. It's known as outer model, and the inside this picture, this is this one. So this model is it is when we find the relationship among the variables endogenous with exogenous variable. It is inner model. So we use two terms: outer model. Outer model means this is our outer model, and here we are not getting a relationship between two variables. It's simply a relationship oval shape with this construct with the measured variable. Same as the outer model, another, this is also our outer model. So here we are getting a relationship the dependent variables with the endogenous construct y1 and y2. But when we find the relationship x1 related with this y1, or y1 related with this, then it is same as structural model, because it's a dependence relationship. So it is known as the inner model. Okay. So in an inner model, the we can see here there are two types of model. One is inner model, and another is the outer model. So now, latent or unobserved variable. So unobserved variable means which we cannot directly measure the variables. Okay. So the unobserved variables means these are the unobserved variables: x1, x2, y1, y2. These are unobserved variable. Unobserved variable means directly we cannot observe this phenomena, but by using these questions we can understand the latent phenomena. So these are the measured variable. Measured variable means our questions. Okay. And the unobserved means the latent phenomena. Latent or unobserved variable. Latent variable cannot be observed directly, and therefore cannot be measured directly either. To measure a latent construct, a researcher capture indicators that represent the underlying concept. Like doctor cannot identify or diagnosis any patient unless patient tell the symptoms. So if I meet a doctor and I say, sir, so please tell me what is the problem with me. So doctor cannot observe directly unless I tell I am feeling the body headache, high fever. So on the basis of the symptoms or questions, we can identify unobserved phenomena, latent phenomena, or the unobserved phenomena directly cannot identify. But by using the questions, we can understand the latent phenomena. Same as satisfaction, I cannot measure satisfaction directly unless I ask some question to the respondents. So there are two things: latent or unobserved. It's a basically construct, and construct oval shape means it's a combination of three or more questions. Indicators we represent in a rectangle. yesterday I also told you that we use the oval shape means construct, and the rectangle means indicator or measured variable or observed variable, or another term manifest variables. Okay. Now, PLS path model consists structural model. Structural model means inner model. Inner model means relationship one exogenous variable with another endogenous variable, or endogenous variable relationship with other endogenous variable. Means the same this y1, it's a endogenous variable when we find relationship with x1 and x2, but in case the relationship between y1 and y2, then this endogenous variable become exogenous variable with respect to this y2 endogenous variable. So in a structural equation modeling, it's a facility in only in a structural equation modeling is simultaneously we can uh, find the two relationship. For example, the one exogenous variable may be the endogenous variable with respect to other variables. Okay. Then there are two things. Inner model means this is our inner model. Inner, this you can see the inner model. So there are two model. It's a inner model. Inner model means it's a structural relationship. Okay, this is my inner model. And the outer model, there are two outer model. One left hand side you can see the third is the measurement model means outer model. So there are two outer measurement model. One left hand side you can see it's a measurement model, outer model. This is okay in this rectangle, and another rectangle it is also outer model. So there are three models in the this diagram. One is inner model and two outer model or measurement model. So one is formative measurement model, because all the three independent variables are forming this construct, and two the reflective measurement model means these two endogenous variables are reflecting for symptoms or for questions. Okay. So this is about the inner model and outer model. So we, if I say inner model, it means I am talking about structural model, means a relationship between exogenous and endogenous construct. And outer model means it's just a measurement model, or it's equivalent to the confirmatory factor analysis. Okay. So outer model means measurement model, and inner model means structural model. So the term we will use here, instead of structural or confirmatory factor analysis, we use two terms. One is inner model, and the other is outer model. So we can understand the what is inner model and outer model. Now the structural model, the inner model relationship between construct, the y1 related with x1 or x2 related with y1, and then further we can find the relationship between y2 and y1. Okay. So it's a inner model or a structural model, because we are finding a relationship between the two or more construct. Measurement model, there are two types of measurement model. One is exogenous latent variables, and exogenous, and another is endogenous. So exogenous means the independent variables. So it is exogenous, x1, x2, x3, these are the independent variables. And y1, the y1 and y2, there are two construct. So endogenous means it's a combination of three or more dependent variables. Okay. Endogenous means it's a combination of more than two multi dependent variable or more than two dependent variable. So you can see here the there are measurement model or outer model, the two types, because it is full structural equation modeling. It's a full structural equation, and we are taking both formative measurement model. This is formative measurement model left hand side, and this is the reflective measurement model in the right side. So the exogenous measurement model, exogenous means I'm talking about independent variables, and exogenous measurement model can be, exogenous measurement model can be reflective measurement model and formative measurement model. If independent variables are forming the construct, then it is formative measurement model. If they are reflecting, the independent variables are reflecting of reflection of the this construct, then it is reflective measurement model. So the arrow decides whether my model a formative measurement model or reflective measurement model.